Think about the first time you tried Valorant. Everything was new and fresh, and you had no idea what to do or where to go. For most of you, there was some point of reference of past FPS you played, or even another tac shooter. But from the abilities to the weapons to the maps, so many things were first encounters. In these early stages, you learned a ton and got better. In the beginning, improvement is extremely rapid, but as time passes, your improvement rate will slow down dramatically as you approach your natural or organic limit. This is your isolated limit outside of advice, coaching, knowledge, or anything from an outside source, just from you playing the game solely. The closer you get to this soft limit, the less you improve in exchange for time. Where that quote-unquote organic limit is for you depends on you personally, your background, and natural abilities. But that being said, we can't confuse this with your artificial or trained limit, which is something that you create for yourself after trading, study, and knowledge to practice. So basically, there is two graphs of diminishing improvement at the exchange of time, the organic and then the artificial or trained limit. There is actually no quantifiable true limit to your skill, but similar to the natural limit, the more progress in skill, the less you will improve with that same amount of time. This is why someone who never practices, studies, or properly trains could be stuck in a rank like Iron for 500 hours, and no amount of further play will get them to the next level of skill. The first 100 hours, they found their organic limit, but with the remaining 400 hours, that was actually less effective at improving their skills than that first 100 hours was. Now, with proper training, study, and knowledge to practice, that person could pierce through several skill tiers rapidly because while they were sitting on the edge of their organic skill ceiling, they are actually primed to move to another tier of skill with someone who can help them make that breakthrough. This is why quote-unquote hard-stuck players often go through huge moments of epiphany and rapid improvement after getting private coached because their organic limit or lesser artificial limit is replaced by a much higher artificial or learned limit by a mentor. This means it's also important to understand that there is not just one graph or learned limit, but there is one for every set of knowledge. Under a certain set of training, skill, and practice, you can have a certain soft limit of skill with diminishing returns in the same way that all the other types of skills have. That's why the most important skill to continuously improve is actually not the ability to just sit down and grind thousands of hours, but actually feel the speed of development in your own skill. Many times when players reach that artificial ceiling where they start stagnating in skills, their solution to that is to grind more, lock in, and play a ton more hours in games. But this is actually a major mistake because oftentimes it's not a question of time, but rather of knowledge. If you had invested hundreds of hours into the same routine, aim training, game understanding, study, and have not seen skill mobility, then you need to revisit how you're training and what you're learning.